Hey kindergartners, Mrs. Holliday here, and
Sawyer.
And today we're going to be creating a directed draw of a
Monarch butterfly.
Yeah, it's springtime, so we want to honor the monarch butterfly and its great journey that it makes from Mexico to Canada. If you want to know more about the migration, go ahead and check out the link that's connected to this video. Before we begin, Sawyer is going to let you know what materials we need.
We're going to use a white piece of paper, 3 markers, 1 black, 1 orange, and 1 yellow.
Awesome. And remember, do your personal best because there's no mistakes in art and they all turn out great. You ready, Sawyer?
Yeah.
Let's get started. All right, boys and girls, before we get started, let's go over our materials again. So you're going to need a blank piece of Xerox paper that's white, and you want to have it the hot dog way, so it's kind of long. And also you want to start with your black marker. Remember, you should have black, orange, and yellow. All right, so are you ready to begin?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the first thing we're going to create is the thorax, which is kind of on top of his abdomen and the butterfly. So to start with, we're going to make a long oval. It's kind of going to be up here. And I'm going to draw him, my turn. Remember that we say my turn and then your turn. Your turn. There. Great. My turn. We're going to create the head of the butterfly. Come on top, semicircle, connected. Your turn. Great job, Sawyer. All right, let's go ahead and create the abdomen, which is going to be this sort of longer U shape that kind of goes below the thorax. Eyes watching, my turn. I'm going to hold my paper down so that it's kind of straight. And I'm going to go all the way down and create this U shaped again and connect to the bottom of that. Your turn. Okay, here we go. We're going to look at the thorax. So Sawyer, can you point to the thorax, which is this one in the middle? Awesome. And we're going to start creating the wings. So we have the forewings and the hind wings. Start off with, I'm going to come to maybe very top of that thorax. And my turn, eyes watching, I'm going to create this big long line that kind of curves up on top. Your turn. Great job, Sawyer. All right, Sawyer, now we're going to make this symmetrical. So eyes watching, my turn. I'm going to create the same line going the other side. Eyes watching mine. So I'm going to create this one that kind of goes all the way that way. Your turn. And then curve it. Awesome. All right, here we go. Next part of our wing, we're going to go to where it is the lower part of the thorax. So point to the thorax again. Yep, exactly. So the bottom part, and we're going to create what kind of looks like a straight line going out. Your turn. Awesome. And sorry, boys and girls, if I keep forgetting to say my turn, but I'm going to try to remember. On the other side, my turn. Create that straight line going the same another direction. Over here, your turn. Great job, Sawyer. Let's keep it up. The next part of the wing that we're going to create is we're going to go down to the abdomen. Can you point to the abdomen right here? Awesome. And we're going to find that corner and we're going to create this line that's curved. It's diagonal all the way down. Your turn. Great job. My turn. I'm going to go to the other side and make the same line kind of going out and then curving. Your turn. Yep, at any point you need to look at your picture and you need to increase your line, go ahead and do so. This is where we're going to create the wings. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. We're going to start with the forewings. So we come up here, we're going to create a little bit of tiny curve, not too much, one curve, and I'm going to connect it by curving around. Your turn. Here we go. I'm going to, my turn, curve a little bit and then come down and then it's curved. Your turn. and connect that corner. Awesome. So then we're going to come down here and we're going to create the hind wings. Remember, we're not going to be able to see his legs because his legs are underneath his body down here. So I'm going to come here in the corner of this forewing and I'm going to kind of curve around and connect that bottom wing. My turn and curve. Your turn. So come to the wing over here in the corner.
Here.
Over here. Yep. And then curve down and connect that. Yep, you got it. Bless you. All right. So then I'm going to do it from the other side. Watching me. Look where my marker starts. I'm going to come down and do the best I can to curve into that. Your turn. There you go. All right, here we go. The next step we're going to create is, what do we need on top, Sawyer?
Antenna.
Right. And what you want to do is you want to start in the head. My turn. You're going to create kind of this curved line. Your turn. Awesome. And then I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to create another curved line. And then we're going to create these little dots on top that's called, I believe, the club. So let's go ahead and dot those in. Awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and create the patterns, because what makes the monarch butterfly so beautiful, Sawyer?
The spot.
The spots and the colors, right. So to begin with, the first one we're going to create is this teardrop. Eyes watching, my turn. I'm going to start on the left side. So I'm going to create here, I'm going to make sure it doesn't touch the thorax. I'm going to come, I'm going to put my pen down and I'm going to create this teardrop. But before I stop, I let you know that whatever you create on this side, you need to create the same thing on the other side, which will cause it to be symmetrical. All right, Sawyer, your turn. Go ahead and create your first larger teardrop shape. Awesome. So then I'm going to create my other one to look exactly the same. My turn. Your turn. Awesome. My turn. I'm going to create the second spot over here. So I'm going to come down. It's going to look sort of curvy, but not ovally. It's more of a rectangular shape. Your turn. Remember, Sawyer's spots and my spots are going to look somewhat different, and that's okay, just as long as we got the same spots on both sides of our butterfly. So I'm going to create my other one here, about the same shape, same place. Your turn. Great job staying focused, Sawyer. All right, next spot, I'm going to start it on this side this time, and I'm going to create sort of what looks like an oval shape. Your turn. Awesome. Then I'm going to go on this side. I'm going to create that same one that kind of goes underneath. Your turn. Great job, Sawyer. Here we go. Moving on, I'm going to create this larger spot down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first create a line here, and then I'm going to drag the spot, and it's going to go down and in there. Your turn. So the best way you can, just a shape underneath. Leaving room to color. And then we're going to do it on this side. I'm going to go through, I'm going to make that tiny hill that bends, and I'm going to come through here and connect. Your turn. Great job, Sawyer. All right, I think that's about the toughest part. So now that we've done that, we're going to create the spots that are up top here. So what you're going to do is you're going to make 3 ovals stacked on top of each other. Watching me, I'm gonna make them about the same size. So I'm gonna go this way. 1, 2, making sure they're not touching each other, and 3. Your turn, Sawyer. Ovals. Good job. So whatever you do on this side, you'll have to do it on the other side. Watching me. Watching me. 1, 2, my turn. Your turn. Okay, so now that you have 3, we're gonna make 4 little tiny ones, but they're gonna be a different direction. They're gonna be sort of long and skinny. So watching me, they're tinier. So I'm gonna do 1 and I'm gonna box them. 2, 3, 4. So they're hitting 4 corners. Sawyer, your turn. Good job. So then I'm gonna make the same ones here a little bit longer. 1, so they match mine on the other side of the 4 wing. Your turn. Great job. And so you see, we have some of the spots that we need, and we'll fill in the smaller spots as we go along. Let's go ahead and go to the hind wings. Here we go. So the first thing I'm gonna do, eyes watching, is I'm gonna create this teardrop. So make sure it's not connected up here. It's kind of hanging out loose. And your turn. Create that long teardrop.
Here?
Right in the center of your 4 wing.
Here?
Yep. Now the one you created there, you're going to create on the other side. So eyes watching, my turn. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to create the same one, about the same size on that side. So remember, boys and girls, because I'm an adult, I've had some practice with these. So getting one side to look exactly the same, it's going to be kind of hard at first, but you know, after you practice this a couple times, it's going to turn out pretty good. And even your first one's probably going to look really beautiful after you color it in. All right, moving on. So are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to make this skinny teardrop, watching on my paper. Here we go. We're going to come down here, and we're going to circle back around, and we're going to connect in that corner. Your turn. And then my turn. I'm going to do it on this side. Make sure that I connect it in the corner. Your turn. Awesome. Good job staying focused. Here we go. We're going to create some of the spots going up along the wing. My turn. Eyes watching. Here we go. Go. Your pen. All right. Let's continue. Here we go. So I'm going to make my other spot that's coming up from here. So I want to start here. My turn. Eyes watching. I'm going to do it on this side first. I'm going to create that oval shape again. Your turn. Okay. And then whatever you do on this side of the wing, you're going to do on the other side. So I'm going to create that again. And I'm going to make him right here. Your turn. It's a bit skinny compared to my other one, but that's okay. Like I said, once you color them in, they're all going to look great. So then I come up here and I create another spot that's just a bit smaller than this one. Your turn, Sawyer. Awesome. And then what we do on this side, we're going to do it on the other side of the hind wings. Here we go. Your turn. Awesome. And then we're going to create 2 more on this side and 2 more on this side. So I'll start first. My turn. I'm going to create another oval going about here. Your turn. Nice. So if it looks like that, make sure it looks the same on the other side. My turn. I'm going to create that smaller oval going around here. Your turn. Yeah, there's no wrong way to do this. So she's angling her ovals, and that's perfectly okay. So my last one, I'm going to create one that's kind of in this direction. It's a little bit skinnier. Your turn. She's going to find a spot for her last spot. On both sides, and that's okay. So I'm going to create my last one. That's going to be about here. All right, so I have my 4 on this side and my 4, and I make sure that I have the same amount. And then before I get done, the last thing I'm going to add to it is you're going to create these tiny little spots that go around the edges of each wing. So eyes watching, I'm going to start first, and Sawyer's just going to join me because she already knows what to do. So you guys can just follow along mine. Here we go, creating these circles. And you just want to create a bunch of little tiny circles going around the edges of each wing. Go ahead, Sawyer, you can start creating this. Remember, you don't want them touching, you want them separated. And I go to the 4 wing, creating some more, not touching those bigger spots. Just kind of bunch around, create more spots. Great, and then go ahead and jump onto the top wing. And I'm gonna go on this side. And like I said, if I am going too fast for you at any point, you are welcome to pause this video and take your time to retrace anything or add anything in that you feel like you need to add that you might have missed from the video. Here we go, going to the top one, making sure I add a few more up here. And remember, these spots are going to be left white. The rest of it we're going to be coloring in with our black marker. So I'm going to just wait for Sawyer to finish her spots along the way of hers. Great job. Awesome. So for the last part, before we color the guy in, we're going to go ahead and make 2 tiny little circles for his eyes, or her eyes. And then I'm going to draw a few more tinier circles inside the thorax. And we are going to shade in our butterfly. And this is the part of the video you're going to be fast forwarding. So as you know, we're going to keep these spots white for now. We're going to do the black, and then we're going to come back and do the yellow and orange, okay? So Sawyer, you ready to start? We're going to shade in one direction. And if you need to move your paper at any point, feel free to do so, okay? All right, guys, we're ready to shade in our butterfly before we color in those beautiful spots. To begin with, I'm going to hold my paper down. Sorry, could you show me that you're holding your paper down? And we're going to color in one direction, and we're going to start shading in. And we're going to avoid those spots. Keep them white. So I'm going to come in and go ahead and shade through. And like I said, if you feel the need to fast forward this video at any point, because you know that I'm going to be shading black, go ahead and do so. This might even take you, you know, part of a day, and then you might come back and do the other side. That's perfectly okay. But if you have a thick enough black marker, go ahead and get it done today, because then it turns out really pretty. You can hang it up for springtime. So I'm going to come up here, fill in my little spots if I need to. I can always go back and do those later. I'm going to go around these spots here. Okay, and feel free to join me at any time. Right, I know you're probably watching which ways I go. All right, boys and girls, here's the best part. We finally come to the grand finale. We're going to go ahead and color in our Monarch butterfly. I want to show you what Sawyer created earlier in the day. This was her first version. And then once we shaded it in, it should look like this, right? So all of their spots should remain white, even the ones that were created on his thorax and his eyes. And if you didn't do that, I told Sawyer we would use like a white color pencil. We could just always create them, and that's okay. All right, boys and girls, we're gonna start with your orange to color in our spots. Remember, the ones along the edges are going to stay white, so we don't need to shade those ones in. We're not going to be shading these little tiny ones around the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the forewings, and then I'm going to move down to the hind wings. So are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. First part we're going to do, my turn, is we're going to use our orange, and we're going to create the inside, the very first teardrop that we sort of created. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to shade it about halfway through. Okay, so eyes watching one direction, holding my paper. If I need to swivel my paper around so I can get that nice orange in there, about halfway, making sure I don't touch the black if I can avoid it. It's kind of hard, but just do your personal best and it'll look great. So I'm going to get it about halfway there. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle. Your turn. So now that Sawyer's shading hers, I just want to show you the same amount of shading I did here. I want to do it on the other side of the same one, okay? So as I wait for her to finish hers, she's going up and down. I went side to side, and whatever direction you choose, that's perfectly okay. I'm going to come to this side. I'm going to do it about the same amount halfway through. It's okay. You see how some of my lines are longer than others? I'm just going to get it to be about equal amounts. Your turn. A little more red orange than I hoped, so you want to stick to just kind of your basic orange. Great job, Sawyer. Moving on to our next one. Each one of them will be about half orange and half yellow. I'm going to come down here to this other spot. I'm going to color it about halfway orange as well. Your turn, Sawyer. Now, this is going to take a lot of patience, and it's going to probably take a lot of black ink. So you take your time. You can, like I said, do half of it and come back to the other half, or you can do this in steps over a couple of days. And then you'll reveal your masterpiece to your families. Here we go. Come to the side. Your turn.
And you'll reveal it to your students or friends.
Okay, maybe. All right. Your turn. All right, let's go to the next spot. I'm going to come over here on this side again. I'm going to do about halfway of this spot. So now that you're kind of seeing the pattern, your turn, Sawyer, you can just join me as I do them because she's kind of getting, for this one, Sawyer, just be careful because I did him the long way. I'm going to kind of make this line to tell me how much of it I need to color. Okay.
That's what I did.
Color him on this side. Your turn. And I'm going to create that line on this side as well. Shade him in. All right. So I'm going to kind of go through that. Remember, the only ones you're not going to be shading in any color are the ones, the small, tiny along the edges, and this one. I have my turn on this one, and about that one on this one, and about, there's going to be smaller ones here. You're going to want to shade these about halfway through if you can, as best you can. And being careful not to get too much into the black because then it'll turn the tip of your orange too black. Okay.
How come yours is kind of reddish?
Yeah, it's just a darker marker. So then I'm going to do this teardrop about halfway. Sawyer's I'm letting her kind of go on her own so she can get her coloring done. Feel free to kind of go ahead now that you see what you're doing. And then we'll reveal the second half in just a second.